So what you have to do first on all 4 elevations, you have to, and here's the setup. So please pay attention, even though I'm recording it. Here's the setup. So if I pan my webcam all the way up, and let me move this head down like that, I have to first tape my plan up above on my work surface. Now, everybody's gonna tape it differently depending on what kind of drafting board material you have, whether it's a piece of wood, your table, or like a table like mine with a parallel. You're gonna have to place it above. You're gonna have to tape it, you gotta make sure it's straight. And the most important thing is you gotta finish this, and it's gotta be accurate, this plan. So you need the plan in order to do these elevations. So remember when I said things, you gotta get things done in order to do the next things? Well, you have to have this plan done, the hardline plan of your final option. So once you have that done, you gotta tape it up above, because you're gonna be working down here. You gotta tape it up above, you gotta make sure it's straight, right? With a triangle and your straight edge, you're gonna tape it on all 4 corners like I have it here, right? And then you're gonna put a sheet of vellum right underneath it, of vellum, not trace paper, of vellum. So you notice that I have my sheet down here right underneath it. So for me, I put the sheet right just below the furthest horizontal I have in this drawing. So the top of the sheet is right below this line. If you can put it lower if you want, but don't put it above. Tape your second sheet right down here. So now I'm gonna ask a general question. Does everybody know what I'm gonna do? Anybody, can you give me a guess of what I'm gonna do? Because I wanna draw this elevation. I'm gonna draw the horizontal lines, the roof, the wall. I'm gonna give you datum lines, which are the platform, you know, the roof, the bottom of the roof, the top of the roof. What do you think I'm gonna do? What do you think the reason I take this drawing up here is for? Anybody?
Bring down the
draw
lines.
Yes, I'm going to do what's called orthographic projection, or I'm going to be projecting lines down. Now, for this demo, everybody, and I don't want you to do this, I'm going to use a red, let's see, I don't want to ruin my drawing, but I'm going to use a red pen to bring down my lines, my guidelines. You're not going to do this. I'm going to do it for demo purposes. You're going to bring down lines lightly with what? A 2H lead. You're going to bring down lines. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring down lines because I'm going to do this freehand. But here's my 2H pencil, right? And I'm just going to, has everybody gotten used to sharpening this thing? No, yeah?
Yeah, I did after a while.
After a while, you know what to do. Hold it out, bring it out, spin it lightly because you'll break the lead. I think you kind of, I like to bring it out a half inch and then open it and then take it back like about a 1/4 inch. So I have that and I'm ready to roll. So here's what I'm going to do. Let me move these pens out of the way. You know what? Notice I don't need a scale right now. I don't need this right now because I got everything measured here. There's no need to use a scale yet. That's what's nice about orthographic projection. Now, it does take a while setting it up, but it's sort of a wash. You're not going to be using a scale here. So let me get my triangle. Here it is. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to bring lines down from every corner first. So, oh, before I start, I got to be careful and everybody's got to be mindful. And whether you write this down or you see this in the video again, you got to make sure that, remember this grid right here was 48 by 48 on our grid that we produced and this drawing we're producing. But the platform is how many inches over on each side, the platform. This is 48 by 48, but our platform and our model is 49 feet by 49. So the first thing you want to do for all the edges of this, you want to bring the line down, but you want to measure 6 inches over because this was the line of the grid. So I'm going to bring this line down, and I think you could see that. And I'm going to bring This line down is already 6 inches over because in my design, I have the wall in the center of the grid. And remember our rules, if I have the wall in the center, it's got to go 6 inches over that way and 6 inches over that way to make a 1 foot wall, right? So on this side, I'm already good with the elevation because it's 6 inches over from, let me draw this darker. It's 6 inches over from the grid. So there's my dark line. This one is not 6 inches over. So here I do have to use the scale at 1/8. And I'm gonna put a tick mark here, 6 inches over. And that's the true edge of the platform, right? This dark one, this outer one is the true edge. There's 2 lines there. So I have both of the edges of my elevation, right? So now I'm just gonna continue to draw lines down because I gotta draw these 2. These are where my ramp starts, right? So I gotta draw, or I gotta cast lines down. And again, this is for demo purposes. You're gonna do this neatly. Your guidelines are gonna be much lighter, but I wanna show you what I'm doing. So what other lines I gotta bring down? The 2 edges of that wall. Let me bring that down. And that wall, the 2 edges of that wall. There's my 2 lines for the edge. And what else do I gotta bring down? The 2 edges of the bench. Yep. I'm gonna bring that line down like so. And then I'm gonna go to the corner here, bring that line down by so, like so. Oh, what else do I have here? I gotta be careful. I know this is an elevation, right? So, but I also gotta cast what other 2 lines? This wall that's beyond, because I gotta show everything in elevation, whether it's in the front, middle, or in the back. I gotta show these 2 lines, this wall. So I'm gonna bring down these other 2 lines. Now this is where it can get tricky. You're gonna have these guidelines coming down and you have to make sure whatever lines are coming down, you have to make sure which elements they are. So, and I'll explain that in a bit. So I have to, and one thing you could do is put 2 X's here and just remind yourself that those 2 lines are casted from the bench. But I gotta bring these 2 lines down because they're the wall. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna bring this line, which is gonna be really close. And then I'm gonna bring this line down. Look at that, they're really close. The edge of this wall is almost in line with the edge of that bench. And it probably is, probably set it up that way. But nonetheless, now I gotta bring this line all the way up here, this wall, I gotta cast that line down because I'm gonna see it. Even though it's far in the background, I'm gonna see it. So I gotta bring this line down. It might take me a couple of passes because my triangle is not that big. Come down, and then I have this line right here, right? Okay, now we don't have to cast lines for the pool because it's in the ground, it's not popping up. It's submerged. So we don't have to draw these 2 lines because it's in the pool. It's not something we're gonna see in elevation, and I'll explain that. But I do have to draw these 2 lines, right? Or cast down these 2 lines for the thickness of the wall, the left side and the right side. So I'm just gonna get the edge of this side, and I already have the outer line done, which is here, right? So now you gotta be careful. What's up above me? The what? The dashed line, what is that?
That's the canopy or roof.
Canopy. So in my case, if you can see, I'll bring this down. In my case, the canopy is right on the edge of the ramp, the right side. So I have that line casted down, which is this one here. So I just got to remind myself that's the edge of the roof up above. So I'm good to go. I can't do anything with the stairs because that's in the platform. I'm not going to see it in this elevation. So now that I have all my lines casted down, the first thing I want to do is I want to draw a ground line. A ground line. A ground line is just that. It's a line that represents the ground. So let me do this. And you're going to put the ground line where you feel you need to put it based on the composition of where you want this elevation to be. and I'll talk about that later. But right now, I'm gonna put the ground line right about here. And keep in mind, the ground line is always dark. It'll be the darkest line in this composition because it grounds the elevation. It's like a weight. It grounds it. So I'm gonna draw a ground line like so. I'm gonna go all the way across, and I'm gonna spin my pencil, and it's gonna go beyond the furthest left and right edges like so. I'm gonna go over it a couple times. And you can see I have this nice, consistent, heavy ground line that is a thick line weight. There you go. It's a thick line weight, and it's consistent. There's no ghosting here, right? Here's the edge of my elevation on the right side and the left side. You really want to go over about an inch, inch and a half with your ground line. That's the ground. You don't want to end it right at the intersection here. You want to go past. That is called the ground line. I don't want you to write this down. I'm just telling you. That's the ground line, right? Okay, so now here's where you're going to draw, or you're going to start giving heights to things, right? So, because we got to draw the heights of these, and don't worry about these guidelines yet. So now you tell me, because I don't have my sheet, what is the height of all our walls? What are the heights of all our walls? You should know this. What is the height of all our walls? Can somebody
All
bring
the walls are for, or wait, for all the walls or just the
all of them?
perimeter?
They're all the same. What's the height of all the walls? We know the widths in
49.
the heights. I'm looking for the heights.
Oh,
10 feet.
10 feet,
Right?
yeah.
So what am I going to do here is I'm going to draw just a tick mark. I'm going to put it on this line where this I casted the lines for the furthest right wall. I'm going to put 10. I got to make sure that the zero's on the ground. Oh, hold on. Whoa, 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 whoa. I almost forgot something. We have a platform, right? The platform is how high above the ground. Then I can go 10 feet above that. Somebody tell me what the platform is, right? Here's my model, right? I'm drawing this elevation. What's the height of the platform from the ground to the top? 2 foot.
I think 2 foot 6 inches.
Yep, so I'm gonna go, I gotta make sure, you gotta make sure the 6, there's 6, and I'm gonna go 1, 2, so I'm gonna put a tick mark there. That's the height of my platform. Now I'm gonna go 10 feet, because the walls are 10 feet from above the platform, right? So now I'm gonna go, see, 8, 9, 10, there's 10. I'm gonna draw a tick mark there. So now I know that I have some tick marks for my datum lines for my elevation. Here's 2 foot 6, that's the height of my platform. And then there's the height of each wall, 10 feet, okay? Now I need the height, the thickness of the canopy, which is the same thickness as the wall. So the canopy or the roof, right, that we have here, right? That's gonna be a foot thick, the same thickness as the wall. So since I know it sits on top of the wall, I'm gonna draw a foot increment right above the top of the 10 feet. So that's what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna draw a tick mark for a foot, right there, just the 1. So there's my tick mark. So let me put some numbers here. This is 2 foot 6. This is 10 feet. That's how we draw it. And this mark there is 11 feet, right? So I have some lines that I'm going to be going across for my elevation. I do have one thing that I missed, and that's the height of the what?
The height of the bench.
Somebody tell me what the height of the bench is?
I believe it's 5 feet. No,
Nope.
that's width.
Yeah. What's the height of the bench? 18 inches, I think.
Let me check.
Did somebody check for me? 1 foot
Yep,
6?
it's 18 inches.
Okay. So that's translate to how many feet in inches? I think I just said it. What does 18 inches translate into?
6 feet and 6
No,
inches. I mean, 2 feet and 6 inches.
no.
No, wait.
No. How many inches are in a
Oh,
foot?
1 foot and 4 inches.
No.
Nope, basic math is not good for me.
How many inches are in a foot?
12.
Okay. So
Yeah.
that's 1 foot. I said 18 inches. How many inches are left over then? 18, take away 12 from 18?
6.
1'6" is the height of the bench. So I'm going to put the 6 there, the 0, and then I'm going to go up 1. And there's a tick mark for the height of the bench. So now this little guy here is 1'6". Oh, be careful. I went off the ground. Where do I have to go off the top of the what? The platform. See, this is where you gotta make sure you're paying attention, and I gotta make sure I'm paying attention. So 1'6" from the top of the platform, Professor, which is right there. Okay, so this is 1'6" from the top of the platform. Or you can say 4 feet from the top of the ground line when you add 1'6" and 2'6". But let's not confuse anybody. Top of the platform is 1'6" for the height of the bench. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to strike lines going across on these lines because they're datum lines. So I'm going to strike a line going across for 2'6" because that's a major datum line, like so. I'm going to strike a line for 1'6" in the area where the bench is, right there. That's the height of my bench. I'm going to strike a line going all the way across for the 10 feet because that's the height of all my walls, lightly. There's my 10 foot. And then the thickness of my roof, the 1 foot, there's my 11 foot horizontal line going all the way across. So I just now did the overall light guideline work for the south elevation. Now I have to figure out what to darken in, right? This makes no sense right now. You can't tell what's going on. This doesn't make sense to what I see right here, but it's starting to take shape. I'm taking these guidelines and I'm bringing them down right now. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw these guidelines in red so that you can even better understand this. So here's the edge. This line here is the edge of my platform. I'm not going to do it down here yet, but here's the edge of my platform, this red line. These 2 red lines are my ramp. You can see the 2 lines, right? These 2 lines here are the edge of the wall that I'm going to be seeing, this wall. This line and that line is the edge of the bench. This line and this line that's close is this wall, the edge of this wall here, these 2 edges, right? Now this line here, remember, this is the line of this wall, the edge, okay? Oops, you know what? Can somebody tell me what I forgot? I forgot to do that edge, right? I don't see that edge cast down. So let me backtrack. I'm going to put, I got to bring down this line right here. Let me bring that line down like so. And then this line right here that I just drew in pencil, this one, that relates to the edge of this wall beyond. Okay, now I got these 2 edges of the wall, and that's these 2 lines, that one and that one. Okay, so now I'm going to start to darken in what I see in elevation. So remember that image I showed you of my sketch of Wright College when I said foreground, middle ground, and background? I have to apply those same rules here. Whatever I see in the front is going to be hit with a darker line weight. And as the elements progress backwards, like these elements in the back, they're lighter because they're beyond. So let me do that now. So what I want to do is I want to first see what the darkest things I'm going to be hitting is. It's going to be the edge of this wall. in this wall, because they're the furthest. If I'm standing right here, here's my head, and I'm viewing this thing, what's closer? These two walls are the closest to me, so those are going to be the darkest. And then conversely, what's after that plane, I'm going to draw the bench, I'm going to draw that roof, I'm going to draw the edge of that wall, and then these two edges of that wall, and I'm done. I want to show you how this gets put together. So let's draw the base, the platform, because the platform is the thing that's in front of us. So I'm going to heavy. I know the platform is 2'6". I have my horizontal line right here. That's 2'6", this line here. So let me darken in. Spin my pencil as much as I can, get this thing focused. So there's one edge of the platform. So now I'm going to go over, I know this is the ramp. So I got to show that. But I also know that what's coming up is this wall here that is going to be dark. And I know its height. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over with a line. I'm going to stop right where that wall is, like so, right here. And then I'm going to go up because this wall's in front of me. So I'm going to darken in the outline of this wall. Oops, right like that. And then the top of it, I'm going to go over horizontally. Let me get my, but I had my brush, but I don't. So let me darken this wall in a bit. And then I'm going to go across. Notice I'm leaving a gap here. I'm not doing the horizontal because in reality, this is all on the same plane. The platform and the edge of the wall is all on the same plane. So I'm not going to continue the horizontal line from there to there, but I am going to continue the horizontal line because here's the platform. So I'm going to go across like so. And I'm going to come to this wall here because this wall's on the edge. So I'm coming to this wall right here, and then I got to do the same thing, go up and over, because I'm drawing the edge of the wall here. So, and I know it's 10 feet, so I'm going to bring this one all the way down. I'm going to go up to 10 feet, spin my pencil. It's got to be dark because it's in front of me. That's why I'm putting pressure on it, spinning the pencil. And then I'm going to do a horizontal here. So now I started this elevation. Now, here's the ramp. I can darken in this line here, like so, and I can darken this line in here. So if I bring this out, you can imagine if I'm looking straight on, I need a line in the back because that's where the ramp ends, right? All the way in the back. That's sort of this horizontal line. So I need this line here. So let me see, come on, zoom. I want some clarity here. You can see that this is the top of the platform, and you can see that I have already started quite nicely how this looks. This is the face of the platform, and I have the edge of the wall, and I have this wall. These are the things that are in front of me. That's why they're going to be dark. If I wanted to hit them a little bit darker, I could, to further emphasize that they're in my face. So let me do that. Here's the wall, this wall, right? That wall is the edge, right? If we look at the model, what I'm drawing here is everything that you see here. first, right? This edge of the wall and that edge of the wall. I still have things to draw, but these are the two, and the base, that's what's in front of me. So that's why this is so dark. Okay, now I'm going to sharpen my pencil up. Now I can ease up a little bit on the pressure because I'm going to be drawing things that are beyond. And when I draw things that are beyond, they're not dark because they're not in front, they're further back. So hence, I have to lighten up with a line weight. So the next thing I'm going to draw is what? What do you think the next element I'm going to draw is? What is that? Everybody? I'm going to draw the bench, right? Here is the bench that I'm going to draw. I'm going to be light on this line weight, as light as I can. I might do dark for demo purposes, but here's the bench where everybody's sitting on. There's the bench. You notice the edge of the platform goes across because the bench isn't in the same plane, it's back. So there's the little bench. What's the next element I should draw? What's the next element that I see? Is the roof. See the roof? That's the next thing in line. So I got to draw this roof. I know it's in line with the ramp. I know the height of it, and I know where it ends. There's where it starts, and there's where it ends. So now I'm going to draw the roof. Here's where it starts. It's in line with the ramp edge. And then here's the plane of the roof going all the way across. This line is not going to be as heavy because it's not in front, it's beyond. So I'm going to try to let up on the roof lines. There's my roof. Bring this down. There's my roof that I'm seeing, right? This is what I'm seeing, the edge, the roof going all the way across, but it's further back. So that's why it's not heavy as these lines in front. There's my roof, okay? Are you with me so far? You're not sleeping, right? Please tell me you're with me.
Yes.
Please tell me you're with me. Okay, the next thing I'm going to draw is what, everybody, what's the next thing? It's not the pool because I can't see the pool. And we're not going to draw dashes for the pool, which we would in a working drawing architecturally, but we're not going to do that. The next thing I'm going to do is show these two lines because it's the wall that's beyond. So I know where those lines are. It's these two lines right here. So I'm going to, and it is in line with the edge of the bench. That is going to be lighter, like that, and like that. There's the wall that's beyond. That's that wall. In the model, it's those two, oh, can I zoom in here? It's those two lines beyond that are underneath that roof. Those two lines, okay? Not done. What are these two lines right here? It's the wall that's way beyond there. Those lines are what? Light or dark? Because they're beyond, way beyond. They are light. I'm going to do them really light, as light as I can so that you can at least see them. There they are. These two lines right here is that wall that's way beyond. 13 inches, 13 feet wide, 13 feet wide. And believe it or not, that is the completion of the elevation. Now, one thing that you're not going to do is you're not going to have these red lines. You're going to have very little light guidelines, projection lines coming down. Erase this because it doesn't look right, right? So with the exception of the red, you can start to use your erasing shield. Who took it? if I can do this without an erasing shield. Start to see it come to life. I mean, these lines stay, these lines in here can come out. I got lines going through the roof, which shouldn't be there, but this is the wall beyond. See that wall all the way in the back here? Those two lines, these two vertical lines are those two lines, 13 feet. Here's the two edge walls that are in front of me, the bench, this wall in the middle, your roof, and then your ramp. Now, this elevation here on the side, right, is gonna be, you're gonna do it the same way. Here you have an opening in the wall. You have to figure out the height of the opening, etc., based on your design. And you can do that. I don't want to do all these elevations. I just wanted to show you how to set this up. That's how we draw an elevation. We're casting lines down. And how do you do this next one on the east side? Well, you got to turn the paper, right? Tape it down and do the same thing. And then the one on the north side, flip it. It is some work, but this is how we do these elevations by hand. And you're going to do it much neater here than me. You're going to erase all these lines. Use that erasing shield so that you can get those lines out of there. And I'm really always neat and organized. And for some reason, oh, there it is, my erasing shield that I can't lift because there you go. So when you become more efficient at this, now I can get this erasing shield and see those lines that are going through the roof right there that I don't want. You wanna, there we go. It's much better. There should be no lines. That's kind of sloppy there. I wouldn't hand this in and I'd do this over, but there shouldn't be a line there, right? I said this should be open like that. So heavy. There's the bench. There's the edge of the wall beyond. This is the two edges of the wall beyond. There's the roof. And then this is in front. And this is the what? What elevation is this? Anybody? North is up. What elevation is this? If this is north up above, this is the south elevation, right? So south. South elevation. And you're going to take all these marks off because I did that for you. So this is the south elevation. And you're going to be doing the south, east, north, and west elevation.
Could
Now,
I ask, we could see this, sorry, with the floor involved, could you zoom out so we can see both images? I mean, oh, okay.
Let's see
I'm
here.
just, you saw the process of you making it, and then I just wanted to see like the final, like one more time, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So like
So
both of them.
let me do that. So again, you have, the first thing you have to do is tape your elevation down, whichever one you're going to do. Tape your drawing down. The hard line drawing, that's the first thing you have to do. It's got to be up above. And then you notice that my paper starts right at the bottom edge of this plan or a little bit lower. And then you have to start casting lines down of each element. I casted them down, but I erased them. Then you got to do a datum line vertical line, and you got to give the major important heights, right? We had 2'6", 10 feet, 1'6", and 11 feet for all the major components. That's all you kind of need. Now, again, keep in mind that the things that are in front of you, you got to hit with a darker line weight. Things that are beyond, you have to do with a lighter line weight. And you're going to be doing all 4 of these elevations. We're going to be going into sections, not tomorrow. We're going to do that next week. Sections. We're going to cut a section through as well. And when we cut a section, we're going to darken in the back, and I'll talk about that. But in elevations, the only thing that's really dark, actually, I really should make the ground line darker, because the ground line is the darkest line in this composition. So the ground line is the line that should always be the thickest line. Let me go back and forth. They're spinning. So that's good. See that line right there? That is the ground line. That is the thickest line in this composition. And then there's the platform, because that's the thing that's in front of me. And so are the walls, because they're on the edge of the platform. And then as things further go back, they become lighter with a lighter line weight, as you can see in this model. I'm drawing what I see here in this model. I'm going to do that elevation, or this side one, the back one, all 4 of them. And it's just line weights right now. Now, you know, if you wanted to, which I don't suggest unless you trace this, and I'm going to reiterate, 4, 5, 6 feet, you know, it's nice to this person is on the ground, right? Because that's the ground. But when you're on the platform, you're up higher. It's not, you know, it's nice. If you want to attempt to do a person, I would trace it. I wouldn't, you know, sometimes it's hard if you haven't done a scale figure by hand. You trace it up like if you have an entourage book, but it's nice to put a person in the elevations as well. I might have you do that for the final, but it's nice to have it so you can have a sense of scale. This person's on the platform, right? Like I did here. And then this person here is on the ground, because you have to get up to the platform, right? And you put a title under each. I wouldn't put this title, so don't. Give some room here. Light guidelines, 1/8 inch tall with the lettering, no bigger than 1/4 inch. Don't put this title or make the letters really big. It's the south elevation, the north elevation, east elevation, west elevation. Exactly how you see it, looking straight on. Again, the setup is important. What's really important is the accuracy of this drawing. If this drawing isn't accurate, then this elevation isn't going to be accurate down here. Then you got to untape this, spin it, then do this elevation. Untape it, spin it, and do the north elevation. Untape it, spin it, and do the west elevation. So we're doing elevations of this drawing. We're not doing anything different than a high rise. Downtown, you do an elevation of it. How does it look in elevation? Same thing, but doing it at a smaller scale. Then we're going to do sections, just like a real building section in a drawing set. Then we're going to do an axonometric. Then we're going to wrap it up. But this takes time. This takes time. But it's projecting lines down, and you're just adding some heights here. And then you're finding out which lines you're coming down. You got to be careful that line up, and knowing what components you have to pop out with line weights and which ones are beyond. That make sense, everybody? Any questions? I got this recorded, but any comments or questions? Maybe you have a lot, but it's a matter of setting up and executing, right? There's a lot of things that come into play here that we've learned. The setting up, taping your paper straight, bringing lines down, spinning your pencil, dark lines, right? Light lines beyond. The darkest line is the ground line. Have it extend a couple feet beyond, maybe 6 feet at the 1/8 inch scale. This is all 1/8 inch scale, right? We're doing everything at 1/8 inch scale. No borders around this. It's up to you if you want to put one elevation on each vellum sheet. They'll be on vellum paper. Or I know in the final, I'm going to ask for all 4 elevations on one sheet. It's up to you. So for instance, you're saying, what? I'm going to put all 4 elevations on one sheet? Yes, for the final, you will be. So for the final, if this is a plain elevation sheet, I'm sorry, a plain vellum sheet, I'm going to ask that you split the paper somehow in quadrants, and you're going to put one elevation. Let me do it like this so you can see it. One elevation is going to be down here. One elevation is going to be down here. They're going to line up. One elevation is going to be here, and the other one's going to be here. And they're going to have neatly north, south, or whatever, east, west. And your elevations are going to be on one sheet. You're going to have your name down here, no border. I'm going to leave it up to you how you want to create these 4 elevations. If you want to do them on one separate 11 by 17, you want to figure out where they're going to be on the sheet, and you have to set it up. You have to think ahead. Or you can do it on here and then trace where they're going to end up in this 4 quadrant. Because in the final, I want 4 elevations on one sheet. All 4 elevations on one sheet of the pavilion. Are you stunned? Nobody's stunned, are they? Or speechless or what? Talk to me.
No, I'm all good, just listening.
Everybody else, are you there? You got a pulse?
Yes.
You've seen these drawings before?
Yes.
Everybody? You know what an elevation is?
Yes.
I don't detect happiness. I detect the tone of, I got a lot of work to do. Oh my God, professor. That's what I detect. Is that true?
No,
Are you telling me the truth?
I don't know, not for me. I can't speak for the rest.
What did you say?
But I can't speak for the others. But-
What did you say? I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I said, no, it's not too much, but like, I'm not going to speak for everyone.
Well, what do you think? I'm good. Anthony, you're good. Jessica, everybody else, Isa, Paulina, I haven't heard from you. Paulina, you there? I know you're there. You're quiet.
Yeah, I'm good.
Dior, Tyra, Isa, Jessica. Does that make sense? Do you want more information? Do you feel that you want me to do this elevation with the window? You can handle that, right? If you have a window in here, right? So if you have a window in there, what's going to happen? You got your platform, right? Here's your platform. If I'm going to do this elevation, right, I'm not going to spin it, but if I do that elevation, oops, I did it wrong already because the wall is part of the platform. So let me do it again up here. Here's the ground line. I want to do this elevation, so I'm going to have this wall go up right away. It's going to go over, then come down, and I'm going to see the edge of the platform like this, right? So here's this elevation I'm doing, but now I got to do this opening, right? So depending on what height you're going to do, this opening is going to be like this, right? It's going to go right. I got to put that opening in. So that's the rectangle of the opening. You're going to tell me how high you want it off the platform, how tall your opening is, and then I got to see the roof, right? The edge of the roof is here, and it ends like somewhere here. So then you're going to see there's the roof. And I'm done. Oh, actually, hold on. Oh, what am I gonna see beyond in the opening, the edge of that wall? So this is gonna be a light line somewhere right there, right? That's, this edge of this wall is that, but, oh, and then I'm gonna see, oh, I'm really not done. I'm gonna see what? The edge of that wall. I know it's 10 feet, so it can be something like that, right? I gotta see the edge of that wall. Now I'm done. That's a quick elevation. Some elevations are gonna be quick and easy. This one, I gotta show the stairs there. I know that risers are 6 inches tall. So what does that stair look like in elevation? Well, if I just draw the stair in this elevation, right? So this side's gonna be on this side. So here's my stair. It's gonna go like this, right? And then I'm gonna have 5 risers. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I drew 2. I didn't put enough space. So if you zoom in there, they'll be equally spaced. They're 5 risers. That's what I'm looking at in elevation for the stair. If I just drew this edge, but you have to flip this. You can't just cascade lines down from the back. You have to turn this because that elevation is going to look different. That's important. You got to remember, you got to rotate each to draw that elevation. I can't draw this elevation and just cast guidelines down, right? My stair isn't going to be on this side. It's going to be on, when you flip it, it's going to be on this side. So you got to make sure of that. You always have to flip and rotate the elevation. You'll be drawing all 4 of them. Does anybody feel the need for me to do another elevation for demo purposes? You think you got it? Think you got it? You got it? Yeah?
I think I have it. I'll probably watch this a few times just to make sure, but
Again, you could, I mean, you can say, hey, professor, after I looked at it, maybe you want to do an elevation that has the stairs, or maybe we should do an elevation, or this one here, you know, but things that are on the ground plane that are submerged, like this pool, this reflecting pool. If this was the real world and I did a working drawing, a construction drawing, I would cast lines down for the pool like this, and then right here. And then how deep is the pool? I think it's 16 inches or something. I would do what for the pool? Because I can't see it. Oh,
for the pool and the elevation, wouldn't we still have to show? Oh wait, you wrote it down. Never mind.
yeah, see that?
Yep.
They're dashed lines, but I don't want you to do that because you don't see it in elevation, right? It's beyond and it's submerged. This is what we would be doing in an architectural office to show you what's beyond. But for now, I don't want you to do that. You're not showing the pool. You're not going to show the pool in any elevation. Keep that in mind. I'm just telling you what would happen in real life. We would draw a dash, meaning it's hidden, it's beyond, but it's hidden. I don't want to confuse you, so leave the pool out. Oh, conversely, what would we do with the opening in that same logic? The opening in the roof. Just so you know, what would we do? We would do dashes. There are the 2 lines I brought down for the opening. Here are the 2 lines of the opening. We would do dashes. Just 2 of them. You can't see them, but see these 2 lines right here? That's the opening of the roof beyond. Here's the opening in the roof right here, this X. So you bring those down, and there it is. But don't worry about that. Don't worry about the opening in the roof and the pool. Just if you go slow at it, I'll put up the worksheet for this. The worksheet explains it, but it explains it sort of in a different way. This video is much more explainable, I should say. But just keep in mind for this exercise, even though the handout says sections and elevations, let's just do elevations first. 4 exterior elevations or 4 elevations of your pavilion. Granted, you have to finish this first though. You can't do this till you finish the plan done. And you can't finish the plan until you set up a meeting with me and you have your 3 design options. So all of this, you can't start working on this unless you've done the previous work.
I have a quick question about the options 1 through 3. Would you like us to put that in a folder on our Google Drive and so you can see it when we talk?
Yes.
Yes. Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I need to see them. I want to see them. I want to see them like 5 or 10 minutes before we talk. Yeah, and then we talk about them. If you can put them in one PDF, if you can, it's okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Anybody comments or questions before I let you all go? And tomorrow, I'm not sure what we're going to talk about tomorrow, but we're going to talk about something that's important. I don't want to get into the sections right now because I feel that I think I need to give you time to breathe here. But we're going to talk about, it's probably going to be the final presentation, and that's going to be important. We're going to talk about that because, again, like after tomorrow, I'm going to give you another 2-week or 4-week grade just to see where you're at with the grades and tell you what you're missing and whatnot. And then really, like I said, realistically, you have 1 week left because the last week is putting this all together. I got to go over the sections. The sections are very important. Slicing a section through the building, your pavilion. And then I got to talk about the axonometric drawing at the end, which we're going to color. That's why you're doing that coloring exercise that I just handed out today. And then we'll start talking about the final presentation, August 6th. 2 weeks from tomorrow. Questions? Comments? Anything? Anything?
Everything looks good.
Yeah, Anthony, you had something to say?
Yeah, I'll be emailing you because I think I'm to the point where I need to be submitting my options.
Okay.
For what orientation, like how I'm going to be laying out the pavilion. So I'll reach out to you and then.
Yep, send me an email. I need to know what times I can meet with you guys, with everybody else on the options, because we're running out of time. For the quicker we talk about the options, the quicker you can put this thing on hardline, right? The quicker you can do this drawing, the quicker you can start on these elevations. Some of you I think are going to start on the elevations, if not after this or really soon after that. I think has anybody handed in the study model yet? I don't think anybody's done that, or I didn't see that yet, but.
I haven't. I have to meet with you tomorrow for the options.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. This has to be done first. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so after, I'll get working on it once we decide on which one.
And is everybody going to be doing the study model out of cardboard? Is anybody attempting to doing, I think the stairs, as you know, probably have to be done in chipboard because of the thickness or some other material, because it's thin.
I'm doing mine on chipboard.
Yeah, you see those stairs. I did the video for the stairs, right? So it's they're really nicely done. We're going to do the final model, right? The final model is going to be out of chipboard. Really nice like this with nice precision cuts. No markings on the walls. If you might want to do markings on the ground for the grid if you want. That's not necessary, but chipboard for the final model. And the final presentation is probably, I think that's what we're gonna talk about tomorrow, what I want for the final presentation that you're gonna present to a juror on August 6th, and what the requirements I want for the final presentation of this pavilion that you're designing. So, any questions on today, tomorrow, next week, last week, previous weeks? Comments before I let you go?
Nope.
And if you want to set up a time with me, I think Adriana wanted me to reply. Isa, I don't know if I gave you a solid question answer. Email me again. I'm really busy with other stuff, but I need just to be reminded sometimes. Let me know when you want to meet. Give me times when you want to meet. The sooner the better. But I don't know where everybody is at. Oh, I do know where some of you are at, but not everybody as far as these options. So the quicker you give me the options, the quicker we can talk, the quicker you can finalize a plan and put it to work. Yeah? No questions or comments before I let you go? From anybody?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. I'll see you tomorrow, 9 o'clock. Anybody? No? Anybody else? Any questions or comments before we leave? Eva, you're good?
Sounds good. Yep.
Everybody else?
No.
Good.
Dior? Jessica? Paulina? Adriana? Tyra?
No. We're good.
Okay. Well, I'll see you in less than 24 hours.
Okay. Thanks, Professor.
Thanks, guys.
Yes.